What's up, guys? Today is the 22nd of November. We're getting closer to the end of the year, closer to Christmas for those of you who celebrate it. And I think it's Thanksgiving soon, is it not?
For the Americans, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot coming up near the end of the year. Hope everyone is well. Spidey, what have you been up to?
I've been dealing with a lot of personal shit. So there's that. Next question.
What about yourself, King? Have you been doing anything? I was.
Yeah, I've actually been testing some new software. Let's just call it that. And as a result, I've accumulated quite a bit of credit.
Okay. I mean, we can hear that you got a new headset sounding crispy clear.
That is also true. I did get a new headset, which was partially in thanks to this testing. And as a result of that, let's just say I have a lot more leeway to buy whatever I want on Amazon.
Nice.
You're set. You're getting pretty set.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunately at the current time limited to Amazon, but that's really not a bad thing considering how expansive their catalog is.
I mean, Amazon just got into the pharmaceuticals, so I think you're set with everything.
Well, I don't quite need any. I don't quite need any pharmaceuticals at this point in my life, but I do think later on I probably will. But as of now, yeah, like when it comes to technology, at least. So while I can't make any extravagant purchases yet, like a laptop or something that's very high end, I'm certainly not dissatisfied with what I could buy. So as of now, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's not exactly cash in my bank account, but it's almost as good.
Nice.
For the stuff you would have bought anyway, and now you don't have to actually buy it yourself.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to actually pay for it. It's basically paid for.
And I assume that's with work and everything that's getting you there.
No, it's actually not. It's related to a company that's just testing some new software and platforms in Toronto.
Okay.
So they just kind of put out a call for whoever was like willing to commit a few hours to it each week, and yeah.
Okay. So you're out here. You're out here. You're hunting, fam.
So to speak, yeah.
Okay. All right.
What a guy.
Any news? I don't think there's any news this week.
What about you, Dad? What have you been up to?
Well, we got locked down. Managed to finish everything I needed to do. Then my sleeping pattern flipped again, like it did during lockdown the first time. But I'm still waking up in the morning. The only issue is I'm trying to actually be productive in the morning rather than just sitting around doing nothing, which is what I did last time. So heading out for walks and actually not just vegetating in my chair for the entire day.
Yeah, that's pretty good. At least you're trying to be a little bit active. It's better to do that than to just sit down, be a couch potato, and gain 50 pounds over quarantine.
Yeah. But then for the most part, just been trying to catch up with a lot of the seasonal anime, and then Noshi attempting, as we all know, my tendencies of manga. I've been trying to read it.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying.
You're lying.
I'm keeping up with one weekly manga. That is impressive for me.
Is it Eden Zero? Because you have to...
No, it's not. That don't count. That it's tricks dedicated to witches.
Oh, the Black Cat scans. Yeah.
I started that food truck one, but I started reading it and then I got distracted.
How you distracted? There's naked people in it, bro.
There was naked people somewhere else.
So yeah, that was our week, or past 2 weeks. I don't know. It's been shit for the most part for me.
We know, man. I don't even think you put the last podcast out.
Don't remind me. I've been dealing with so much shit. I haven't even been active on the server. Is it me? It's probably me.
So yeah.
All right, give me a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was just someone else in your background.
Probably. But yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of shit. I haven't had the time to do much of anything. I haven't been on the server really. Yeah. So luckily, most of it has been resolved. So that's good. So I will be dropping fucking unless some bullshit happens with my luck. The 3 podcasts that we're missing. The 3 or so chapters for the series. And then I might just be updating some shit on the server. But yeah. Oh, one bright spot was I played the Miles Morales game. But it was
No, that
super
wasn't.
short.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super short. Not worth $50. So
Ooh.
That's unfortunate.
Hey.
Though this is not really related to Miles Morales, but obviously because Black Friday is coming up, I think this is obviously true for the US, but it's actually true in Canada too, and might be true for the UK. Amazon has a crap load of deals, especially for PS4, PS5 games. So if you're interested, you can definitely get some stuff there because they've got discounts on a lot of good games like God of War 2018 and whatever.
are we sponsored by Amazon or some shit?
No comment.
However, if you're gonna be doing Black Friday, all right, word from our other sponsor, okay, Camel is a website where you can take the link from Amazon, put it into their search bar, and it will tell you what the price difference has been for that specific item, when it's gone up, when it's gone down, and so on. So you can actually see if it has actually changed in price properly, or if they just scammed you.
I'm just dying of laughter over here. We got fucking the Canadian shilling Amazon. We got the British man shilling. I don't know what the fuck, camel something.
Triple camel, fam. Camel.
Never heard of it.
Dude, let me look at you. So last year, right? I went on to during
A lot of companies don't even, they say they're on sale, but they're not. Because I went to shop at a clothing store, and they're like, "Oh, 50% off." I was like, "Bitch, I literally came last week and it was the same price. What the fuck you talking about?"
Look at that. It's the UK one, but you can change the shop. You get the bottom on there, right? And it will tell you when you go onto it. If you actually put in the link, it will tell you, "Oh, this is the price it's been for the last like 6 months." Right, so you'll see if they changed it last week just to say that it's on sale for Black Friday. You'll see that, so you'll know if they're actually just chatting shit or not. You can also set a thing to email you when it drops to a certain price on Amazon. So I actually got one of I got this figurine for Arsenal. It was usually like £60. When it dropped to 35 on sale, I got an email and I bought it. So it's a pretty good site.
Whatever you do, people, don't spend thousands on a fucking game console. Please don't.
Well, to be honest, I do think that spending thousands on a game console that you can play for several years alone or with your friends is much better than spending thousands of dollars on some crystal figurine of your favorite anime waifu.
No, but then if you're gonna spend $1,000 on a console, just buy a PC.
Here's the thing, though.
Well,
the console costs $500. Do not spend $1,000 or more going to fucking eBay and paying these cunts who are
the people who buy them out and then resell them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wasn't thinking about eBay, of course.
Well, Amazon does it too. Don't trip. Since we're sponsored by Amazon,
I am not sponsored by Amazon yet.
Well, we're gonna have all 3 of us are gonna have a different sponsor. We're gonna be fighting.
I'm gonna. What's the grumpy one? Some grumpy ass motherfucker.
You?
I'll be that. No, like a brand.
A grumpy brand?
Yeah. Fuck, it'll be sponsored.
Maybe.
Grumpy brand.
Anyway,
if you guys have ever had the Buckley's cough medicine, I think that's one. But that's the only one I can think
Grumpy
of.
Bunny.
Grumpy Bunny. Fuck it. I don't know what they sell, but yeah, sure.
Never heard of it.
Neither right. Oh god, it's one of them like.
Oh shit! I'll be right back.
Is that one of them fucking Japanese K-pop websites? Oh god. Ooh.
Fuck it. They give
They
me
got
money.
Pokemon
We
stuff.
good.
Hold up. They got Pokemon stuff.
Are we good? I'm not judging. Judge
Yeah,
free
they got a
zone.
Pokemon lunchbox and it's in the form of a Pokeball, bruv.
Yeah. But yeah,
£30
so
note.
while we're waiting for what's his name, the Canadian, to come back, I will give you a brief review of the Miles Morales game. This is the Miles Morales, or Spider-Man Miles Morales review by yours truly, Spider-Man. So the game starts off immediately after the end of the first one, which is it gives you a little refresher in case you forgot or you haven't played it. I would recommend you play the PS4 version because the PS5 version has a new character model for Peter Parker, and he looks like a fucking moron. He looks like he should just be punched in the face and just die. But that's a rant for another day. The game itself is very basic. You learn it's essentially Miles's origin story, so you learn who he is, what makes him Spider-Man, but what also makes him different from the Spider-Man we all know. We all know Peter Parker, the dude who's got the redhead girlfriend, the blonde fucking girl that he had who previously died. But with Miles, it's a very different story. He's a mix of Puerto Rican and black. So he doesn't really fit in, and a lot of people could tell you this, especially the Into the Spider-Verse movie, which did an excellent job. Shows you that he can't really fit in with. He doesn't know how to fit in with people, so he's still trying to find out who he is and what to do about much of everything, right? Because he's still in high school. Story picks up where you meet certain characters, and then as the story progresses, you learn more and more about Miles, his abilities, which vastly differ from Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's has got that web swing, he's got the smarts, and the super strength, of course, but he doesn't really have the powers that Miles has. So Miles has the ability to turn invisible, well, essentially camouflage, but for the basic, it's turn invisible. So it's a good ability to when you're fighting in combat and you just want to dodge. Then he also has the ability to Venom Shock. Now, Venom, we think as Eddie Brock, the big dude who's in the symbiote suit, but no, Venom is more like a little shock punch, if you will. Just think of it as like a little shock or a Joe punch, and he has the ability to do that. It's a very fun game. The storyline itself, because I don't want to get too deep into it, is roughly 3 to 5 hours, depending on how you play or the difficulty you play. Even if you play on the normal difficulty, it shouldn't take you more than 5 hours unless you're like playing blindfolded
Unless
or
you're like a
something.
total noob, basically.
Oh yeah, that too. The side missions and the collectibles and everything are a lot more improved and better utilized than in the original 2018 Spider-Man game. So that huge props for that. The side characters are great. The story itself is great. The only thing I do not like about the game is that it is $50. But at the same time, I would rather spend $50 on this game than spend any money on the Fairy Tail game. And that is your Spidey review. Thank you. All right. We could continue with the normal podcast now.
All right, guys. So let's just get into the. Evidently, that's Spider-Man's review. But yeah, let's just get into the latest Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest chapter. This was something very special to most men. Chapter number 69. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, that's called a hand.
Oh shit! It is.
Oh my god! You know the funniest thing?
I didn't even notice that until fucking Dab pointed it out. But damn it!
69. And
I mean, dude, this is just like chapter. I think this is just like chapter. I think it was 312. It was called Threesomes, and it was the one where Minerva, Urza, and Kagura were all having the three-way battle. Damn it, Mishima!
That's hilarious. The funniest part is that it's chapter 69, so he knows that everybody who reads it usually just uses your hand. So, oh Mashima, you funny bastard.
Yeah. But yeah, who wants to give the chapter summary?
You do, because you hardly talk.
Fair enough. But I'll be honest, actually, I'm at a point, like, do we need to do a chapter summary? I feel like everybody has already read the chapter.
Fair. All right, fuck it, no chapters. He doesn't want to do a chapter summary. We don't have to do a chapter
I
summary.
think we can just cut it out too, because it just seems to waste a couple of unnecessary minutes. So let's just jump right into the opinions. So who wants to start? Because I can start if you guys want.
Sure. Yeah, you go ahead and start so you can refresh my memory on the hand chapter.
Right. So yeah, that's probably the most interesting thing in the chapter for me. This is definitely one of those chapters that's just kind of trying to expand and world build. And I like that this chapter is definitely the landscape and the scenery definitely seems to be much more unique than Earthland or Edelus even. These weird large hands that come out, which I will talk more about later, because I think there was something very noticeable about a hand that everyone saw. But yeah, no, there's a weird element of snow that falls upward, weird like jungle plants that were trying to eat Lucy at one point in the chapter. Urza and Wendy on the mountain. So I like this, kind of separated chapters where like everyone kind of scatters and everyone has to find their own way and do their own thing. And evidently, Celine has a cult of followers of some sort, kind of similar maybe to Irene, because I'm getting some major Irene vibes from her, and which we will also talk about because that's relevant here. And I think this is setting up to be really interesting. The excess magic that we were theorizing about a couple of weeks ago, that's been displayed to an extent. Evidently, Lucy can summon celestial spirits now without her keys, which is interesting because, how did she lose her keys? Like, she should. I wouldn't think she's careless enough to lose them. Those are generally a pretty important thing for her. But that happened, and she can apparently summon spirits without keys. The Irene essence that was buried inside Wendy is actually much more powerful now because of the excess magic of Elantir. So I think people who are fans of that character will enjoy seeing her again. Now, obviously, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I'm not a huge Irene fan. I didn't really think that whole aspect of the Alvarez arc was particularly well handled, but maybe this is Mishima's chance for redemption. And when it came to Grey and Natsu, I'll be honest, that part was pretty disinteresting for me. I didn't really care for it. I thought the fucking snow, excuse me, I thought the snow that was falling upwards is more interesting than Natsu and Grey in that particular scenario, which is just a testament to how bland I feel both of their personalities are. Grey in particular, because he has less personality than the ice that he molds. And the one thing I did want to comment on that I'm sure you guys have something to say on was the hand. That for those who haven't read the chapter, there are apparently hands that exist on Elantir, and they are generally harmless, but one hand that is particularly aggressive attacks the group. And this hand has a series of patterns on its forearm and going down to its elbow. And I think quite a lot of people noticed that it resembled Ignia's hand. And some other people may have commented that it resembled Grey's Demon Slayer tattoos that he takes on when he activates that power-up. So I'm pretty curious what that is, because this is obviously quite different from what we already know of the hands, as per what Toka told us, that they're not normally violent, but clearly this one is, so it's probably something related to the tattoo that makes them violent. Maybe Celine instigated demons into coming to Elantir to make it more exciting, because apparently that's her thing. But in terms of world building, I do think this chapter is generally pretty good. It's not terribly exciting, but it motivates me to come back and read the next one. So I'm gonna, in terms of a rating, I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay, quick question: who's left-handed?
I'm weird like that because. Oh, wait, are you asking about the characters or us personally?
Like you.
Oh, yeah. So I don't. So I'm actually right-handed in terms of how I write and eat and whatever. But my left hand has a particularly powerful grip, so that's how I actually twist bottle caps and stuff.
Because the hand in the chapter is left-handed. So they didn't asked. I noticed that.
That's interesting.
The I like the chapter quite a lot. The chapter cover I think was really cute. Wendy trying to reach a book and then Grey obviously helping her. Juvia with her fucking hiding. The chapter itself, seeing Irene come back. Irene has always been hot for me, but I've never cared for her. I do.
Hold on. You've been hot for Irene, not the other way around. Just there you go.
What? I said she was hot.
Oh, I thought you were implying that she was hot for you. And
No. I've always thought she was hot, but I've never cared for the character. That's what I mean.
My bad.
I feel like
bad.
That's a fair opinion.
I say that I didn't really think Irene was all that. Like, obviously she is powerful, but I didn't care for the whole shenanigans she pulled. But she is a really hot character, so she gets those points. Her coming back was actually very interesting because it's the first glimpse of how much magical energy there is in Ellentir. Obviously, they've stated there's a lot there, but I don't think any of us could really understand how much energy there was, because obviously we could say obviously it's more than Earthland and more than Netherlands, blah 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 blah. But we there was no way for us to gauge it. But the fact that now Irene, who was meant to have not been able to appear again, if I recall correctly, I think the last time she appeared was the last time she was able to. Her being able to appear now shows quite how powerful the Ellentir is. And this fucking hand comes out of fucking nowhere.
Well, I think in series it hasn't been a particularly long time, because the last time she showed up was during Wendy's battle with the fake Venom.
Yeah.
Fake Venom.
But I'm pretty sure.
Look, that's basically what the dude was. Let's be honest. He was discount Venom.
Oh my god!
Didn't Irene say in that during that fight that when she turned up, that's the last time she'd be able to turn up, like the last bit of her magic power?
I think she was like, it's the last time she'll be able to like manifest in that way, but she would technically be like dormant.
Still within her, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, I know, but I just meant in series, it's probably only been like maybe 5 or 6 hours since that.
Bruh, that time is a social construct.
Wait, how is it 5 or 6 hours?
Well, I'm just estimating, because like that happened during the fairy tale battle against the Diabolos demon dragon eaters, right? And what happened right after that? Like right after that was Alderon's revival, and then that was in series. I don't think that could have taken a particularly long time. It just seemed like the whole thing would have been resolved in a matter of hours. Like there was no passage of night.
They stayed somewhere already.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah, no, there was that whole brandish thing.
It's been at least like that. I'd say it's been maybe around about a week.
A week?
I would say maybe a few days to a week. Because they also.
Right, I did forget about the overnight stay and the whole brandish silliness, but a week seems a bit of a stretch.
Oh,
at most a week is what I'm saying. Maybe like 2 or 3 days.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they also went to Edolas and stayed there for a bit and all that other bullshit.
Well, I don't think they slept overnight in Edolas. They just kind of went there, met with the Fairy Tale Guild, and met with Mystigan the King and stuff like that.
Time doesn't run differently in Edolas, does it?
I don't believe so.
I hope it doesn't.
Well, there was nothing was mentioned about it during the Edolas arc running differently. There was a weird inconsistency at the end of the Tenro arc, because Panther Lily told Happy that Exceeds perceive time differently, but we've never had any indication whatsoever that Exceeds perceive time differently. Happy was worried about returning after 7 years, like, oh, what about the Exceeds from Extalia that came to Earthland? And Panther was like, oh, don't worry, Exceeds perceive time differently. They won't even notice that we've been gone 7 years. I'm like, but that's never been a factor of the Exceeds.
But I think that's just like cats. That's just like cat years and dog years. I think that's what he might have meant.
Maybe, but it seemed like Happy was making it a pretty big issue, and Panther Lily was trying to console him, I guess. But it just made me a little bit confused, because that just didn't really seem to be an aspect of their characters, and it's never been brought up ever since.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's sorry. I was being tangential. Please continue.
Fine. The fucking Plaza that trying to eat Lucy. That shit is fucking weird. Mashima, like, bruh. I appreciate the creativity, but come on now. I'm trying to eat our girl to Lucy. Lucy's outfit is nice, I ain't gonna lie. I'm very interested in what you said about the fact that she can now summon without the keys. Has it ever been stated that she needs the keys on her for the spirits to summon themselves?
No. No.
So this is something that on Fairy Tale Wiki we've actually debated, because there's been a few like conflicting cases. Like in the Sun Village arc, there was a case where Loki showed up, and Lucy was like, yes, he showed up, but we weren't actually shown Lucy like magicking around the key or whatever. But that's the only incident. Generally, like it has always been that Lucy needs to be physically holding the key, and if you believe the anime, doing the motions. But in the manga, she at least has to physically hold on to it.
Because the clock came out of fucking nowhere against.
Right, but that is true. But like that's a specific thing to Horologium. Like he has like an auto danger sense or whatever, and it's specifically tuned to him. But like that doesn't apply to like Plu or something.
But you see, Horror, whatever the fuck his name is, he appeared to help her, and then he appeared with Wendy.
Right.
So it's not that he was helping Lucy. So this auto danger thing.
Right, but I'm saying, no, it is, but like because he said like that's how he operates. Like it happened with him and Daedalus too, like because that's how Lucy didn't get taken away by the anima. But like I'm saying, the fact of like a spirit showing up without Lucy summoning them, that really only applies to him in the auto danger protection method. But then there was a one incident with Loki in the Sun Village that caused us some confusion. But generally speaking, we've only ever seen her summon a spirit with the key in hand.
Yeah, but that's her summoning the spirit. The spirit coming out by itself. Does she need to have?
What about when she? What about in the Loki arc when all those spirits came out?
Well, I mean, let's be real. That was just that was plot convenience.
I mean, you could say that, but if she's done it afterwards, is it plot convenience or part of what she does?
Still plot convenience. That was clearly a one-time kind of thing. I wouldn't take it to be an actual measure of her abilities.
But it's still a canonical.
Yeah, you could call it whatever you want to call it, but it's still.
But I don't think it can be taken as an actual estimation of her abilities again, because it was just constructed for that one incident. It's like saying a one-time power-up is how a character should be treated. It's like it's just not going to happen again, and I don't think it's fair to put that in their repertoire of skills.
I mean, she did summon 3 celestial spirits at once, and people said you couldn't do that. So,
well, yeah, but here's the thing: she learned to do that and she practiced that. But the issue we're talking about here is: does she need to be in proximity to holding the key? And the answer has historically been yes.
I'm not rereading the chapters just because.
So now, with this then, so she's summoned Taurus, right? Well, Taurus summoned himself technically. She hasn't got her keys on her. So obviously, this is another example of how much magic power there is in Elantir.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that she was surprised by that would indicate that in her own mind she does have to have the key with her.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we'll find out more in the upcoming chapters. I think this is going to be a case of the spirits are going to be bringing themselves forward using their own magical energy. Then the other thing that really surprised me was actually the design of the town that they were in. It kind of looked like shit. It's like there was moss everywhere and mold and shit. I mean, the trees are trying to eat people, so I mean, there is that. But it kind of looked like shit. Like you wouldn't want to live there. And then what were those things that came out? They were just fucking. They were literally magic power, wasn't it?
I think so.
They were just manifestations of magic power itself.
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure what those were.
Because Carter said magic power is moving. They're not people or monsters either. So yeah, we got a new girl as well, guys. Yuko. She's kind of hot. Ain't gonna
She's
lie.
okay. She's not that impressive.
She's nothing like crazy, but she's still got major step on me vibes. I ain't gonna lie.
Fair.
Sounds about right.
I'm interested in her capabilities because she's one of the moonlit beauty gods. I assume that's just god by title and not an actual god, similar to the dragon gods. But now, how powerful is she going to be? Because I would assume she's the one that's manifesting these magical humans, whatever you want to call them. Which in itself is a pretty... Well, we'll see next chapter with the fight. But it seems like quite a powerful thing. It's like, what was the guy's name that could bring people's fucking bodies back to life? Or memories back to life?
Nineheart.
Yeah.
Nineheart, yeah.
I think it would be a similar case to that, but it doesn't have to be memories and shit. It'd just be a fucking pure embodiment of the magical power. Oh, and if she also did the straight up Air's favorite face, the Owo face. I don't know if any of you noticed it. So Air's gonna have a fit when this gets animated.
He probably won't even watch it.
I don't know who that is.
The admin on the server.
Okay.
The guy with the question mark. You've seen him.
With the snow going upwards.
Yeah, fair enough.
That was... I like what he tried to do there, but it didn't really... I didn't care for it. But I think it's going to play a part later. I'm more interested in the hand, and I'm interested in Yuko. That's what I want to know about. What about you, Spidey? The chapter for me was... I'll say a 7 as well. Give us some kind of progression. Gave us a new character. Gave us an idea of Elentir's magical power capabilities. But nothing really happened. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I didn't care for the chapter. 5 out of 10.
Oh, you didn't even like Lucy's outfit? Shake my head.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, we've seen that plenty of times. It's not like new or anything.
Yeah, but now we got to see it again.
Sure, I don't know. I
don't know. She has better outfits, to be honest.
It just seemed like a filler, not filler chapter. Does that make sense?
A bridge chapter.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just one of those that Mishima and the author probably just using it to, display their creativity. It's not necessarily a plot moving chapter. It's just kind of here, let's have some fun dawdling kind of chapter. And I think those are
this and this.
It's a setup chapter.
It was good for what it was, but yeah, I didn't care for it, and sorry, but I just did it. It's not like the other Lost chapter, which was essentially a slice of life, but we saw Natsu's different adorableness with his daughter, who's not his daughter. So I don't know. And then we got the crazy motherfucker in the end. So that's interesting. I do have a theory that Irene is gonna somehow come back to life in this area. It would make sense given the abilities of Elentir for her to be able to come back, but that's about it. Yeah, Gray and Natsu essentially bickering. I didn't care for that weird looking motherfucker going after Lucy was just that weird. He's probably a Naruto character with all the fucking eyes. And
yeah, well, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. I'll be AFK for a moment.
Cool.
No worries. And then we got the...
I think Spidey died.
No, I'm still here.
Right, cool.
Okay. So Yoko is clearly affiliated with Celine.
Yeah.
Because she clearly says, "Are you fit enough to be Celine Sama's toys?" So clearly, she's associated to her. And going back to your comment about the town being shit, it does tie back to what Ferris was saying about the moon dragon goddess, just wreaking havoc in Elentir, basically making the town look the way it does. So
but the town doesn't look destroyed. That's the thing. It just looks like shit because there's like moss everywhere and stuff. That's what I mean. It doesn't look destroyed.
Well, no, it doesn't need to be destroyed for it to be bad. Because I mean,
I could have looked a lot more beautiful, but yeah, no, that's okay. That's a fair point.
They could be like, oh, you know what? I ain't trying to go outside. The fuck, nah. You know
You know what
what?
it kind of
Nah.
reminds me of?
The
Old Namek, bruv,
why
from
you
Dragon Ball.
insulting? Why you insulting this town like that? Why you gotta
Hey,
do it like that?
look at it. It looks like shit. If I lived there, I'd kill myself probably. Awful. But
Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I have to say
But
though, the
yeah,
art was nice in this chapter.
no, yeah, the art is nice. I don't know, this chapter. There could have been more. It's like
What do you think's
I
happening with
expected.
the upside down snow? Do you
I
think
just, I think that's how gravity works there. No, I lied.
if gravity worked that way, then wouldn't everyone be floating?
Yeah, exactly. So no, never mind. I don't know. It might be this Yoko girl. Yoko. What? Fuck her.
Yuko, Yuko, I
Yeah,
think
there
her
you go.
name.
Yeah, Yuko. Could be her doing, which would make sense because if she's one of Celine's right hand man, essentially, you need to be strong because I don't think Celine would tolerate any weak shit. You know? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was like, what the fuck happened? But yeah, so yeah, I'm not okay. No, maybe not a five because five seems too harsh. Because five just means I didn't give a shit. Like, it had its moments. I didn't really care for most of it. But it was good. I'll give it a seven. You know what? Yeah, seven is good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's okay. It was. We're kind of seeing everybody's power essentially, right? We're seeing Wendy and the fact that she still has Irene in. That sounds weird. Irene with her. It kind of shows the magic power that they possess. Lucy being able to summon her spirits without her keys or anything, just saying I need help. Literally just saying I need help, and boom, Taurus appears. So that's interesting. And then we got Grey Natsu being stupid, and then we got Urza didn't really do much, did she?
No.
No, no, she didn't. Yeah, so we saw two of the more I don't want to say underrated, but like they kind of are the underrated characters getting their like limelight and showing how much their power is amplified with Elantir, and which makes me wonder if their power is amplified in Elantir when they go back, will they be able to possess some of that ability, or will they just go back to you're you reach your data limit? Cool.
Yeah. I don't really know where to go necessarily from here with the chapter. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how things fold out. Because I mean, we can obviously make our predictions and so on, but I think LNT is gonna be a wild ride.
I kind of hope it is a wild ride because if it's run of the mill, then it'll be like you didn't really leave Earthland or Edolas. It'll just be like, oh yeah, look, Earthland 2.0, and I don't think they want to do that as writers.
Yeah. Let's hope it's not.
Mm, yeah, I mean we're trying to like force more conversation over the chapters, but that's about it. I guess
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see King when we see King, which will probably be after he finishes making a YouTube video about how Amazon's awesome. But
I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon.
oh, he's back.
Yeah, he's
All
back.
right. So yeah, we just finished talking about what do you think's gonna happen next chapter, King? Because you didn't really say anything.
Yeah, I didn't have a prediction. I don't think we're going to have a big battle necessarily. Okay, so I will change that a bit. I don't think Natsu Gray or the Lucy group will have big battles. I think that Urza's and Wendy's will probably have like a bit of an issue. Like those magic men or whoever they are that are surrounding them. I think they probably will fight them, and they'll probably have to confront Yugo, the Moon Beauty, whatever her name is. But yeah, it'll probably just be like, she'll introduce herself to them as Celine's right-hand woman or something to that effect. I see this next chapter as, again, more of a setup chapter rather than any all-out brawl, and I don't expect to see Celine.
I think we'll see Celine fight for a while.
F in the chat for Dev. F in the chat. It's okay, Dev. She'll appear one day.
One day, don't worry. I believe.
No, we don't want to get copyright striked. Don't finish that. All right.
I don't think that's how copyright strikes work, but yeah.
Don't want to risk it.
Yeah, they'd be sensitive over at YouTube. So that was a chapter 69, Hand. And yeah. So next chapter is not the first week of December, right?
Hold on, next chapter. I can tell you now, give me a second. Yeah, 1st of December.
Yep. Unless they have a holiday break, which I don't know, because I don't know how the bi-weekly releases work, because sometimes they have breaks and sometimes they don't. But yeah. So King, this is where we leave you be.
Yep, sounds good to me. I will. I'll go do something, and I will come back around for the end of the podcast.
Yep, go make yourselves that pizza, fam.
Not this week, but thank you.
No problem.
Later.
And with that, Dev, let's start with Fairy Tale 2.0.
Oh God.
I'm joking, people.
Oh God.
What is it called? Eden Zero? No, well, I know it's called Eden Zero, but what's the chapter called for Eden Zero?
Star Drain.
Star
118 Star Drain.
Oh, great. You want to talk about your thoughts on the chapter?
Okay, I'm going to talk about it as if it's its own thing. I liked it a lot. I like.
What do you mean? What do you? Hold on, sorry to interrupt. What do you mean by it was its own thing?
Pretending Fairy Tale doesn't exist. I'm gonna go from that point of view first.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, I think it's a really good chapter. It spread light. We saw a bit more of the fight from Orca and Shiki, and then we got a new name, Shura. And gravity attracts gravity. I like that choice of words. And then the explanation of the satellite server to spread the virus, that was cool. And then we got Elsie, who turned up on the planet for food, and we got to see her ether gear, which was a requip. And it basically,
was it really called requip?
No, it was called
you can't call it requip.
Star Drain Forester.
Okay.
I'm just giving I'm just saying requip for like image purposes in people's head. All right.
Okay, that's fair.
She changes her form. Actually, kind of like Star Dress, where she kind of just new outfit comes out of nowhere, looks nice. And then the 7 Stars Grand Chariot looks really cool. Really nice panel, really nicely drawn. And overall, for that was actually really great. I liked seeing how powerful she is. She was able to do all of that. I know they're just robots, so it wasn't really a hard thing to do. Anyone probably could have done that. But seeing what she is somewhat capable of is nice to see. The only other things you've ever seen her be capable of, is when she stopped the sword with her toes and so on. Then we had the fight with Rebecca and the whatever her name was. I forgot her name. And her ether gear activating again. Her ether gear is speed. I am speed.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go faster, fucking. Now that's kind of all we saw from that. So I don't like how that gets cut straight down to Homura. Homura and the fucking clown guy or whatever the hell he is, fucking top hat guy.
He knows the shit out of me.
They have a bit of a conversation, talking about with his magic, and then with her, Homura, trying to explain that she's gonna win. Again, that just felt really to me. I didn't feel like there was anything there for that. However, the ending panels is where we see this other guy he's got two women around him, with a new one with another girl who's new to his groupie, we'll call it. She's only been there for a week, and the two girls try and say to take it easy, and he fucking throws them into the air. And you can see he is Nero's son Poseidon. I like that. Again, with the tattoos design, it looks really cool. And I'm excited to see what this guy's capable of. Problem with the chapter, though, why we got Fairy Tail 2.0. We got Jalal and Urza had a kid, which was Elsie now, with both their magics. Yeah.
You know what? I fucking love this chapter. You know why I love this chapter? Because this is the perfect way for Machina to essentially tell us, look, this is Fairy Tail Next Gen. Elsie is the offspring of fucking Lord Cook and Urza. And it's like the greatest thing in the world. And then I hope that happens, where this is essentially the next generation, because that would be glorious. The people bitching about Fairy Tail from Eden Zero side would have to shut the fuck up. The people bitching about Eden Zero on the Fairy Tail side would have to shut the fuck up. The people bitching about Next Generation from the Fairy Tail side would have to shut the fuck up. It'd be the greatest thing fucking in Mashima history. And I kind of wanted it to happen. And that's the only reason I like this chapter. But other than that, if we're being objective, if we're being honest with ourselves, this is probably the laziest thing Mashima's ever done. He literally took Fairy Tail and put it into an Eden Zero chapter. So for all the praise we rightfully give Eden Zero, we should also criticize it, because this was very late. Elsie was literally Urza with her requip and using Jalal's magic. Some people are going to call it, oh, it's an homage, it's an homage. Homage would be something like he's done in the past chapter, where it's not as directly blatant, if you will. Then we have, for me, and some people.
Hello, Spidey.
A more fuckboy version of Aragorn. And look, I liked Aragorn as a boss fight in the Lullaby arc, so it's not I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But that's what he looks like, and that's what the first thing I saw. I was like, damn, this dude looks like Homeboy, and then he's got the mummy, the guild from the mummy or whatever on his hand. So I'm excited to see what we know what happens next. But yeah, that's about it about this chapter. There was nothing really much with Rebecca besides her saying, "Yeah, my power is speed." So she's basically got, we've said it before, but she's got the Flash Fives, which is a nice take, interesting take. And then we had Homura and that other guy who just annoys the shit out of me. But that's about it. Not objectively, and just like wanting fucking crack theories to be real, I give it a 10 out of 10. Because this is the perfect way for Mashima to give us next gen, and basically say, see, next gen is a thing called the Eden Zero series. Objectively, I would give it a 5 or a 6, because it literally felt like I was seeing Fairy Tail in space. So that's my rating. What about you? I don't think it gave a rating.
No, I didn't. From the first perspective I took, where fairy tale doesn't exist, it's a solid. It's a good 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. But I just feel I can't help but. I don't know if it's laziness or it's just you know, Grand Chariot was a popular spell from Fairy Tale. It is
It
a
was.
popular.
It's just a popular spell with the early Jersey community. It's not
Yeah, I
really
mean,
that popular.
okay, but it's a cool spell, so I'm not gonna fault him for reusing it. But at the
It's
same
a
time,
cool spell.
I can
Uh,
understand why a lot of people aren't gonna like that, and I feel like that alone. Elsie was already something that was kind of hurting Eden Zero because a lot of people were just like, it's just Ursa 2.0. And I feel like that's just gonna reinforce that even more.
yeah, we had
Whether
that with Skull
Mashwick cares
Fairy
or not,
too.
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't.
Oh, but he
Um,
probably doesn't. No, yeah, you're right. He probably doesn't. He probably did do a Skull Fairy, which is the name of her guild, as an homage, and he's gonna continue doing that, and more power to him. I respect the fact that he's still gonna do what he
yeah,
wants because it's his series, right? But if I'm being objective, if we're gonna bitch and whine and complain about Fairy Tail, 100 Years Quest, and everything that it does wrong, which a lot of the fandom does, on both sides, on Eden Zero and Fairy Tail, then we should be objective and complain and criticize when Eden Zero does something very lazy. And this to me, I'm sure some will agree and some will disagree. This to me felt very lazy. You literally took Urza, and that's fine because you know what you want to reuse character models because you know it's a smart business play. But you literally took everything about her. And Dragon Cry Urza literally did Grand Chariot. She already requips, and then she already has select armor for select things. The only difference here is Elsie does it per planet. So sure, yeah, it's different each planet, but I mean Urza had the Dragon Empress, the Heaven's Wheel. I forgot the name of the other ones, but you saw we've seen all the armor she had, the variety. So it's like,
yeah,
yeah, it felt very lazy. And they were, like I said, if we're gonna be critical about Fairy Tail, we should be critical about Eden Zero, and people should be like, we should be more honest. Because do we want Eden Zero to succeed? Of course, we were praising this shit since we started recording way back a few months back, but this long these last few chapters have felt kind of dull, have felt kind of repetitive with the robots and oh my god, they're important. And then we have Elsie with Fairy Tale literally in space. Skull Fairy is literally Fairy Tale in space. So for all the people complaining, it's like it's Fairy Tale in space, and you're trying to be like, oh, it's an homage. It's not an homage. An homage isn't so blatant, but that's just one man's thought.
I like to. I don't think Mashima cares about whether or not people are going to care that it's Fairy Tail 2.0 because it's still going to be a popular story. But I hope he doesn't because I think he's still enjoying writing it,
I just,
which is the nice thing.
no, yeah, yeah. I guess my issue is he's done better in within Eden Zero already. I don't want him going back to what he did in Fairy Tail. It was good for Fairy Tail because we knew what he wanted Fairy Tail to be. Right, he wanted it to be some not decent, not a slice of life, but some casual. Don't take it too. It's not too serious. It's not world built, world threatening and stuff like that. It was more about a group of friends. With Eden Zero, it's about the exploration, it's about the journey, it's about the individuals, the characters, and everything around it. It's kind of not like Fairy Tail at all in that sense. So I know Mashima could do better because he's done better. So especially in Eden Zero, he's killed it in Eden Zero, and it's like, don't do what you did in Fairy Tail because you're not making a Fairy Tail series. You're making a different series. I guess that's my complaint.
Yeah.
But
I don't really know.
Yeah,
It's going to be difficult to see where he goes.
Fair. What was the name of chapter 119?
119. Homura vs. Mora.
What did you think of that?
I liked it because it had Homura. And it really showcased Homura's versatility, is what I want to say. We've always seen her to be of swords, if you know what I mean. And this time she's come out as fucking Wolverine, bruv.
Yeah.
She's fucking Wolverine. I have to give credit. That was cool. I didn't expect it. I will admit. I probably should have. I think we probably should have expected it. That she can use it more than just as a sword. But for some reason, it just skipped my mind. What about you?
Oh wait. Oh, okay. Well, I love this chapter. Like I genuinely loved it. I love this fight because it shows. Again, we're fleshing out Homura as a character and as a fighter, right? We're so used to seeing her with her Eden or her Ether Gear sword, but this time it's like, nah, bro, we're gonna go Freddy Krueger, we're gonna go Wolverine, we're gonna go slice and dice with these blades. So,
It's
and
it's
then we
showing a
also,
lot of creativity, which I love.
yes, yeah, and that's something Mashima's done really well, especially with the Ether powers or Ether Gears. Sorry, Eden Zero community is gonna kill me for that. For with the Ether Gears, he's really been creative about it. He's with Shiki, he's been creative in how he uses his gravity gear. With Homura, he's been creative how she uses her swords. With Rebecca, same thing with her speed. So it's been very interesting, very fun. And I really liked, and again, we saw Homura kind of be smart about it because when she was fighting him, she tried to she covered him in sand and dirt and then just like went full berserk mode at the end, which was pretty nice. Plus
I
plus plus she beat the shit out of that annoying guy, so that's
yeah.
already bonus points. Not that it needed it.
Going along with what you said with what we were saying about the creativity, I like that it's come from this area of I'm not gonna say distress or panic. I'm gonna say it's pressure. Homer was put into a really pressured situation, and she was able to utilize her skills in a new way. We saw that against Clean. If you remember, she was backed into a corner, and she utilized her skills. Was that when she used basically Heaven's Wheel? When was it that she used where she launched swords?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. No, I think that was in the. Yeah, but yeah, I'll keep talking.
Your mic is messed up, by the way. But yeah, so it seems like whenever she's backed into a corner, she's put into this weird pressured situation. She has this wave of creativity that rushes through her head, and she actually utilizes her own ether gear in a new way. Whether or not it's something that she's obviously always training. Now, whether or not she's figured this out beforehand off screen, or if it's something that's just come to mind now, I honestly do think it is a entire situation where either way, I don't mind.
Fair. What would you rate this chapter?
What would I rate this chapter? I'd give it a 9. Just because I love the creativity and I loved seeing again, I always love anything with Homura in it, especially when it's something new. I love seeing the abilities that she is capable of. All this does for me is hype up for that inevitable fight of Shiki versus Homura that we're gonna get.
What? Wait, what? What do you think that's inevitable?
No, because Homura, the reason she joined is because she wants to fight Shiki to like. I can't remember her reasoning, but that's what she wanted to do when they first met.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. I was like, wait, is there something you know that I don't? But no, yeah, you're right. It'll be fun. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I agree with you. I would give it 9. I love this chapter a lot more because Mashima went back to what makes Eden Zero great. It didn't feel like he was trying to appease the fairy tale fans to read this series. So that was great. And then, like you said, Homeru's creativity within the fight and her quick thinking when she was fighting Glue Boy was fantastic. So yeah, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Honestly, it was actually a good chapter, I will say.
No, yeah. And one thing that I've learned, or that I've noticed, and this is something I've known before, but it kind of amplified it, is the reason I don't take part in a lot of the fandom is because they kind of annoy me and they kind of ruin the series for me. For both of them, not just Fairy Tail, not just the answer, but both of them.
Yeah.
That's why whenever chapters drop or whatever, I tend to just read them and not really focus on what the fandom's saying, because half the time I can't stand it, and I rather just enjoy the chapter for what it is instead of complaining like everyone else or with everyone else. And it's like, yeah, nah. But yeah,
I think honestly,
right.
I think it's gonna go well. From here,
Yeah.
It's LC's my only. I'm saying concern. I'm not saying concern for the story for me. I think I'm still gonna enjoy it. My only concern is the fact that she might be
Too much. Is that what you're trying to say? Too much? Too much of
yeah.
For me, it'd be fine if he brought her, but he used her in small doses, because every time he uses her, it feels like he's trying to get the fairy tale fans to be like, "Hey, look, fairy tale, come on, read it." It's like, nah, just don't worry about that aspect. Just keep killing it.
Yeah.
We should, but yeah. Where's the Canadian?
Just drop him a ping. I can't get to the server right now.
I'm here.
Ah, there he is.
Oh shit! Damn, he got them Spidey senses or some shit. I was about to make a joke too.
It was a coincidence.
All right. So that was a review for chapters 118, 119 from Eden Zero, and for chapter 69 from Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Nothing major. Although I will say that Fairy Tail Wiki might have an announcement coming up on December 1st that I will promise is not another prank related to the 100 Year Quest anime. It will just be an internal thing, but I think it is something some people will be interested in.
Are you having an interview with Majima?
No, but that would be fucking awesome. I don't know how his English is, but that would be cool.
It's okay, I'll fucking translate for the guy. I don't even know the language.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, I don't remember you saying you speak Japanese.
I speak Google Translate, bro.
Speak Google Translate.
Who doesn't, though?
Real translators.
Oh, no, they probably do. They just choose not to employ it.
All right, so look out for Fairy Tail Wiki's post on December 1st.
Indeed.
And then I promise to have all 4 podcasts out before the end of next week. If everything goes well, everything I'm dealing with will be done with by tomorrow.
Yeah, man, we hope everything gets resolved well. You can take your time with the podcast. You don't even have to shove them all out at once. Like, do like one day, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, because I do want to, because I love doing these podcasts, and I don't want to make it seem like, we don't have them out, but sometimes you got to take care of life. And
yeah, of course. Life always comes first. That's the thing we used to always say on the wiki, and it really applies here as well, of course.
But that's it, guys. Continue. Look, motherfucker. Before we leave, Trump lost the election. Wear a face mask, social distance, and wash your goddamn hands. Anything else we need to add besides those 4 things?
No. That's it.
I think we're good.
And don't go out if you don't have to, because COVID is a thing, especially if you're in America. 250,000 human lives have been lost because of the virus, if not more. So yeah, don't risk it.